me back this bad boy up. What's going on, Troy? What's going on, Lendro? Brian P, Carlos, Caleb, Bickford, how's it going? Can you guys hear me okay? I am utilizing my phone so I can walk you around this room because there's a lot of stuff we have to go over and there's a lot of cool things we got to discuss. So, oh man, wait, Josh Cunningham. Hola, hermano. Brian's Fish Tanks, the aquatic support system guy himself, Brian P, Jason, Sean Pierce, Candy, and Elise Johnson, John Edwards, Jay, Mike Foxtrot Wilson. Happy Thursday to you, Blimpus, Rico Garcia. You guys got to check out my tank on YouTube, Rico's Maguna tank. Go check it out. So I'm just having a little bit of bourbon, a little bit of Coke Zero actually. So we'll give it a few moments, but I'll kind of discuss what's been happening. Am I drinking again? We usually drink on live videos, right? So was in Canada, had a really great time, some awesome team building. We got to really see Canada and what the Canadian demographic is looking for in terms of saltwater. And then I got to go check out, I don't know. It's hard to say because every time you go to the next store, it's always the best. But this was hands down the best selection of Lake Tanganyika cichlids or cichlids in general in stock at one given time. And they had some crazy wild caught tetras and plants. They're really doing things on a great level. So if you live in that Toronto area near Mississauga, I highly recommend you check out Fanatics. I have a video that I'll be working on to show you the store in its entirety as we talk to the owners, so that's pretty neat. Today is gonna kind of be, we're gonna go over some things. There's some things that of course I typically always do. We're gonna make this fun. We're gonna make it much easier than we did last time. So I've got new rulers coming in so that we can give those away, but we'll probably do that on a later date. But of course, research and conservation is huge to me. So we'll kind of get to that. And then the major news, and in between there we'll pepper in, literally, just did some crazy stuff on the Tropheus tank. It's slightly cloudy, almost in shambles, but I think it looks good. The 220 Malawi tank is killing it. And then the awesome community tank is doing fantastic. So if you have questions, please don't hesitate to ask them. I'm gonna be looking at this camera a lot. So the idea is, actually, let me do this. Let me move it. Let me move it here. Makes it easier. And then when I'm ready, I'll just move the camera. How's that? So questions, shoot them in. If not, we're gonna get started. So first ever saltwater show was, of course, this past weekend. And I got to check out some really cool stuff and everybody kept saying, oh, you're gonna do salt, salt's better. Here it goes, blase, blase, blase. Yes, there is a marine fish book back there because if I am gonna do something on any level, I have to make sure that I'm doing it with the most equipment. And I mean information, knowledge, resources. I need to have all of that before I can just go, oh, I'm just gonna jump right into this bad boy and get to it. Let me see, I think this is cloudy. What's this? I think that'll be better. So, it was cloudy. There was a fingerprint on it, so I apologize. Oh no! So, the idea is, I wanna make sure I have all that leveled out. And I'm not even halfway close. How will Mindy make her appearance tonight, ladies and gentlemen? Who knows? I think she might have poisoned me because I was messing with this tank when I first came in and she was trying to cook dinner and you know, I was trying to get this done because I've got fish coming from Jersey Fish Hut. They will be here tomorrow. Rich called me today. Seriously, if you're in the Jersey area, do me a solid and go check that out. Adam C, Will Diaz, that's what I'm talking about. So Rich calls me and says, what fish do you have in your tank? And I'm like, oh my goodness, let me think. You ever get put on the spot and you've really got to think it through? So long story short, Rich tells me he's sending me an amazing lemon jake He's sending me a Taiwan reef. He's sending me a Melodo. And I forgot the other one. And then he tells me this. And you know Rich, he's straight Jersey, so he's like, hey Jay, you know, I'm gonna throw in this this really nice beauty. He doesn't have a lot of color yet, you know what I'm saying? But it's a hard to get fish. He wouldn't tell me. Now, when I started talking about Jersey Fish Hut, a lot of people were sending me pictures, private messaging me pictures of the fish that I am getting. So I greatly appreciate that. And Rich, I mean, he outdoes himself, which is really cool. I have a 9-inch frontosa that will go to new tank. Can I put 3 to 4-inch fronts with him, or will he eat him? So look, anytime you ask a question regarding, can I do it with this fish or can I do it with this fish? I may say one thing, somebody may say another, and then that fish acts completely different. So it's really hard to say what will happen. If the fish can technically fit another fish in its mouth, it's not a good idea at all. Not a good idea at all. So headed to the Wonder of Cichlids Saturday morning, meet the leprechaun himself. Top of the morning to you, me Trevor O'Shea. Just before St. Paddy's Day. So, I mean, you can't get a better St. Patrick's Day than to visit an actual Irishman and get African cichlids. That's diversity for you. It is. It will be a very expensive snack. I'm pumped, man. 3-hour drive for me, but hey, look, sometimes you got to drive a little bit to get to some pretty cool stuff. Does Universal Rock make any kind of background for a reef-ready aquarium? Well, by reef-ready, do you mean this overflow? Oh, you do mean this overflow. How fancy. Why, yes, Universal Rocks does do that. So as you can see, there is an overflow box, and you have to call them, or look at this guy. You have to give them a call, or you've got to email them. You'll have to take dimensions. So you'll have to take dimensions here. You'll have to take dimensions here. You'll have to take dimensions front to back here. Then you'll have to take dimensions till it goes all the way up to the teeth. And that's pretty much it. And then if you want end caps, which I typically don't on these style of tanks, just because they need to be as tight as they can be. So this is Malawi, and there's a ton of rocks. So while I'm here, we might as well discuss what's going on with this aquarium. So as you can see, it is doing flawlessly. And let me turn off this light, because it's just gonna make it that much better. So the room is kind of in a little bit of disarray because we got some extra tanks we'll talk about in a moment. But I mean, look at this. I went through some mamba jamba issues, but now we are rocking and rolling. Look at that guy. We are just absolutely rocking and rolling with this tank. There's a slight haze, and it's because I turn on the power head every once in a while, and it likes to move the duty right in this area. So super pumped for this aquarium and how it's doing, how the fish are doing. I mean, if we get inside here, look at this. Everybody's doing well. I was a little nervous for this guy. I still am a little nervous. He's getting picked on. You can see he's got a little bite mark, but he likes to hang out right here. The white lip, the Niger Ventor is the Niger Ventor, the Venustus. Oh, he's getting his butt kicked too. Him and the Venustus have been fighting. So this guy, the Venustus, so the eye biter, Venustus, and the Niger Ventor are the only fish I have from the original 500 gallon. So everybody else is new. This is gonna be Imperial Tropicals, and then I've got the Wonder of Cichlids, the Wonder of Cichlids, Wonder of Cichlids, Wonder of Cichlids, Wonder of Cichlids. And I've had those guys the longest I've ever had anybody, ever. So now that we're done with that aquarium, let me see if there's any questions. 155 gallon Marineland bow front. Anyone ever have structural issues with them? Found to use one today, and a standing canopy 350, worth the risk. So Marineland, as of late, has been having some issues with some seals, some seams. They've been busting, and it's just an issue, and that kind of stinks. But at the end of the day, just look at it. Just make sure that the stand is level, and I don't think you can have too much issues. Redneck Aquatics. This, my friend, is a little bit of bourbon, pinkies up, and some Coke Zero. If you order from northfinusa.com and you can actually guess the bourbon, I'll throw you in a free little present. Just write in the memos, I guessed it right with the right answer. And just go to northfinusa.com. So, African cichlid, mixed Malawi, tank is doing killer. So this is what we're gonna do. While I was in Canada, before I started reading some questions, I looked around, I was gaining my information, gaining my knowledge, talking to people, getting some resources, and I ran into a booth. It's kind of right on the end. They were just like this. Had the whole thing going, had the TV going, had some clothes over here, doing really nice, right? So this is some clothes. We got the white tee here. It's got their nice little logo, right? Let's see what else we got here, eh? Boom. Got this bad boy, huh? Nice little different logo here. For the reef, for our future. That's pretty wicked, right? We got some forest land that drops down into like a really pretty sweet looking coral piece with some fish. Could be a humpback whale, could be a duckbill platypus, whatever. However, it is a humpback whale. We've got a long sleeve blue tee. This one's actually pretty wicked, right? You just see blue right on the sleeve for the reef, and then boom, look at that. Nice coral hammerhead. Sweet. And then the hoodie. This is actually, I hate to say this because I sold hoodies myself, but this is absolutely the most comfortable hoodie that I have ever put on. But there's a reason why it's extremely comfy. First of all, it's made in Canada, right? It's for the reef. And I'm gonna explain something to you before I talk about how we're gonna get these to whoever wants them. And we're gonna do it in the style of raising money. I don't care what anybody says. You could do this, you can't do this. All I'm saying is that I am tired of a lot of nonprofits or businesses that are trying to raise awareness for specific projects within the aquarium hobby, and no matter what we do, we get pushed around or shoved around or said, oh, you can't do this, you can't do it this way. I don't care. We're gonna do it this way, and we're gonna make sure For the Reef gets the money. I've been doing this since day one. I'll continue doing it, from the money we raise for kids to veterans to sending back to Lake Tanganyika to giving back to different funds with the ACA. That's what we do. But forthereef.com, if you'd like to check it out, is a clothing brand that their mission is not only to reduce the environmental impact for the clothing industry, but it is to be a vehicle to rebuild the planet's most diverse aquatic ecosystem, the coral reefs. So their goal is 1 million planted corals, right? They partner with a company called Seacor International. They are giving coral reefs a future. Seacor International is a leading conservation organization for the protection and the restoration for coral reefs. Now, it is everyone's responsibility to take care of the reefs. And we can talk about a variety of different things, from climate change to pollution, you know, the carbon footprint. We can talk about all that stuff. But at the end of the day, we are humans. We are the ones at some point causing some sort of impact, whether it's direct or indirect. So the only way we can help it is by reducing the amount of things we do that cause those issues, and to do the things necessary to help clean up or reduce the pollution or the things that we're leaving behind, the footprint that we're leaving behind. As of right now, Seacor has raised, forthereef.com has raised $12,985 as of right now for Secor International. So this clothing brand for the reef has raised that much money. Now you're gonna go, oh, okay, that's pretty funny because, you know, look at the stuff that they're using. You know, it's causing an impact. Well, it gets even better. So acrylic, polyester, spandex, these and many more of the plastic-derived fabric used in clothing today are polluting some of the fresh and saltwater environments. With every wash, microplastics are released from clothing. They get into the water system, and I am here to tell you that these are free of microplastics. Free of microplastics. So you're not going to be doing any harm other than helping not only for the reef.com's mission that are based out of Canada, but also Secor's mission. Now, Secor doesn't work in every reef, doesn't work for every coral, and that's what I liked about them. They had a specific focus, and it was in the Caribbean, and that is their focus right now. Who knows if that will change with Secor, but right now with Secor and for the reef, that is the mission. From Curacao, all of that area, they are focusing in on rebuilding the reef, okay? So I'm gonna get to this tank over here, the Tropheus tank, and then I'm going to auction off a t-shirt. Pretty simple. It's gonna be really easy. So let me grab this bad boy. So as you know, the tank right here is looking lush, right? Over here was a bare area, right? I added a little bit of, I don't know, pebbles and shells. So crushed coral and some little pebbles. I added some river stone. Are you ready? Share the crap out of this video because I'm actually really excited for what I did. The tank is a little cloudy, but bang. Look at all those live plants. Look at all that. Look at all those live plants. Good night. So the idea with this is I saw a photo a while ago about Lake Tanganyika, and the idea was to try to replicate it. However, I couldn't because there was a rock structure here, so it would have just bloomed up this way. Instead, look at that. Boom. So Sean says Tropheus lunch, right? Well, maybe. I've been feeding on this side solely. The idea was to not allow them to dig them up. You're turning into a plant, man. No. But I've got them all planted. This is a mixture. Actually, all of these are from Flip Aquatics. And then I have a fake plant, which looks a little more appetizing right here. And this fake plant right here is from Elite Cichlids. I think it looks really good. I mixed it in there just to kind of give it that little pop back there along with the green algae that I'm trying to build. So the idea for this was to create a more natural, more realistic environment. However, I'm not stupid. I know that at some point, the Tropheus, the Dardani, somebody, something will make its way over there and start nibbling. However, I'm going to do my best to keep all of that over here because they did mess with the Anubias, but it was because I was traveling and, you know, I didn't give instructions to anybody to feed, so I just had the issue. Super pumped for that aquarium, though. I will tell you that. That took me about an hour. It's a lot harder to plant when the tank is full and you're like almost in it. So I can't wait to see how that turns out. I am really, really pumped to, I'm really, really pumped to see if it just takes. I added some liquid fertilizer and there's some, you know, some extra pieces of plant that are floating. I'm no George Farmer, okay? I'm not George Farmer. I am just simply trying to plant some plants to just kind of liven up some of the aquariums. It was already a beautiful aquarium, but I wanted to see the difference with these massive rocks. So Ben Dunn's in the house. So here's how it's gonna go. This t-shirt is a medium. It is 100% rebuilding the reef with every purchase. So I've already bought these. So my goal is just to raise more money than what I paid for these to go back to the reef. And I'm asking for your help. So this is a medium, okay? We're gonna do this in the whole video, so we're just gonna pepper it in there. And if you're watching this later, I'm sorry, but it's over, they're gone. So the idea is, don't do it yet, we're going to do a super chat, okay? Each person that does the super chat, it's like a blind auction, okay? It's just an opportunity to win. 100% of this money, I'm not taking back my cut. 100% of this money is gonna go back to forthereef.com, and they're gonna get it to Seacorp International. When I was at the Coral Show, they raised like $2,000 some odd dollars right there at the show. So I wanna help get there. So this is how it's gonna go. When I say go, it's a blind auction. All you're gonna do is do a super chat for the amount of money you're willing to pay for this t-shirt. The person after I say stop, the person with the highest money that went in is the one that I will get with, okay? And so if I call out your name, that means please contact me and we will get you the t-shirt. This is a medium white t-shirt and I'll open the bidding for it right now. And even though we're open for bidding, I'm still going to talk about some stuff. I'm still going to show you some aquariums and answer some questions. So if you're interested in the white medium shirt, you'll go ahead and you'll do a super chat and you'll just put in the super chat white medium shirt or donation for the reef, however you want to do it. So somebody asked if I was going to do CO2. Actually, all of the plants that I have chosen are simple plants. So Mad Cypress, you're going to have to do a super chat, bud. I don't know if you see that button, but you'll just hit that and then you'll put whatever amount of money you want. So no CO2, and it kind of, I'm hoping it's for the best because I'm just dosing with liquid fertilizer, and then I've got some really nice lights on there, and they're pretty low-tech plants, low-light plants. House of Cichlids, what's going on, my man? All the way from Chicago. You are the man. The video of the straw that was stuck in the sea turtle's nose is brutal. We are destroying our environment. I'd actually like to touch on that, Medina. Everybody saw, I mean, if you're in the aquatic hobby, everybody saw that, right? The problem is, it's a double-edged sword. Is it an issue? Absolutely. Is it as drastic as we are perceiving it to be? I would say likely not, but it's still an issue. I'm not saying that it's not. However, if I share the video, you share the video, and 12 million other people share the video, that one sea turtle in everyone's mind becomes 12 million sea turtles. Does that make sense? I'm not saying that that was the only sea turtle that had it happen. I'm not saying that it's not the only sea turtle to make it happen. All I'm saying is that it is a problem, but we also have to kind of focus in on how do we resolve those problems. And I think it's much more complex than what we're able to do right now. Gail, how's it going? So I guess nobody wants the white shirt. I'll just have to give it away then, if nobody wants this white shirt. So I'll leave it open one more time. If anybody wants to do a super chat, go ahead. And if not, actually, let's maybe do this, because maybe people don't have their money tied for a super chat. The shirt I have on. Since you don't have a super chat, let's do this. You can PayPal your bid also. So if you do the super chat or you PayPal the bid, you're going to PayPal it to northfinusa@gmail.com. So this guy, northfinusa@gmail.com. Just go ahead and PayPal that amount that you're willing to spend on this t-shirt, and I'll end this bid at 8:30 and we'll go on to the next one. So the goal is we're going to be raising money for the reef, and if you're not helping, then you're a part of the problem. I'm kidding. I am kidding, because I'm sure there's many other things that you can do to help, and it doesn't have to always be money. So with all of the pollution, somebody said just create awareness. With awareness, it is good, but sometimes awareness can backfire because we play the telephone game. Hey, Medina, there's about 7,462 tons of plastic in the ocean, and we need to fix it. And then Medina picks up the phone, and Medina says, oh, there's, what do you say? Roughly 10,000 tons of plastic in the ocean. And then he gets to the next person, and the next person's like, I can't, did he say 10 million? Did he say 10,000? There's 10 million. So you see how drastic the number changes. Still a bad number, but we are exponentially expanding what is actually true. And then 10 years later, new science data comes out and it shows that we weren't even close. It was actually a way smaller number. But what is small? What is small enough? Is it 0? And if it's 0, then there's a lot of other stuff that we deal with in this world that we have to figure out as well, because at some point we have to put on a realistic goal and not this high level, I don't want to say overachieving, because you do want to have a mission, you do want to have a vision, but at the same time, you don't want to set the bar so high that you know you're never going to achieve it. You need to level. We're not all going to be the same type of people. We're not all going to have the same drive. And then at the end of the day, you're going to have some people that are in it to win it, and you have some people that just, they don't care anymore because they're like, look, it's a never-ending fight. So you have to have a realistic goal. And I think like For the Reef, 1 million. They're on their way. So they can absolutely do it through crowd stuff like this and selling their apparel online. There's just a lot of ways to get to that. We really need to figure out a realistic number, a realistic goal. Hey Jay, what's the deal with the t-shirt? I came later, I don't know what's going on. So there's 3 minutes, you can either super chat or you could PayPal the money to northfinusa@gmail.com. It's a medium For the Reef t-shirt. 100% of the money is gonna go back to them so that we can help the reef. Now I know we're freshwater guys, but at the end of the day, we all keep water in a box. And whether you like it or you don't like it, or you think it's nice, it's just too expensive, like I do, we can still help. We can still talk about it. Same way we talk about our lakes in Africa, I would hope that folks in the saltwater industry, the saltwater community, would do the same thing. So JW Aquariums, what's going on, my friend? I know mediums are tough, but there are some women in here, so I mean, come on. So with all the plants that I've got going in there, I did have to scavenge some of them out. I'll show you a shrimp tank here in a moment. I'll run into Liam's other room before I touch base on this community, and then we can fire up some more questions. And so we're gonna skip the white, and I don't know, let's go to the hoodie. I guess everybody's gonna want the hoodie. So the hoodie is a large and in charge. It's nice. Oh, I'm doing well, J-Dubs, thanks man. It is super soft. This is probably similar to the first hoodie that I've done, but I actually think it's much softer. So I open it up, northfinusa@gmail.com, or you can super chat. The person with the highest bid will receive this. I will get with them. You will not pay shipping. I will make sure that I take care of the shipping to get this to you. As long as you're in the United States. If you're outside of the United States, then I will absolutely help you. Tell them Large Marge sent you. So you got this bad boy. Let's raise some money for the Reef. However you want to do it. Super chat, no super chat. You can rock and roll. So the beta is right next to you. It's miserable. Absolutely. Can you see that? Oops. Absolutely miserable. So he doesn't get sucked there. He literally swims over there. I had to lower the water because the cat's been getting in here. So he is going to another aquarium once I have it fully set up, which is very soon. And so that's the idea. Somebody's asking how much the hoodie is. However much you're willing to pay. So it's the highest bidder. And if you don't want to bid, that's perfectly fine. And at the end, if I don't receive any bids, then I've donated all the money, and I'll keep the stuff, or donate it to a shelter or something. So, why do you have cats? It's a good question. The first cat was definitely my choice. I wanted a gray cat. Regret? I'm not gonna say that. The second cat we have is the one that's doing this, was a band-aid, so to speak, after we lost another cat. So at the end of the day, he's a jerk, and he's becoming a bigger jerk, and he likes to play with the betta, and he needs to stop. So if you had an opportunity to go to Lake Malawi to scuba dive or snorkel, would you? Yeah, actually have an opportunity right now, but I can't afford that. I mean, in essence, I say I can't afford it because I don't want to prioritize that. I don't want it to be a priority. Would I love to be there? Oh, absolutely. I would love to be in Lake Tanganyika, snorkeling, scuba diving, hanging out with folks that have just endless buckets of knowledge, but almost 10 grand? It's a lot of money. And to be honest with you, where I stand right now, I would love to go, but I would much rather have 10 grand and try to figure out how to make it cheaper to get there and maybe get a bunch of people to go. I think that would just be much better. And I mean, what Caleb said, do it. If you want to send me 10 grand, man, I will absolutely book that flight. I will document it. I will name myself Caleb, and I will do whatever in terms of Lake Tanganyika stuff you want me to do. But no, I wouldn't take your money. It's not in the cards. It's just absolutely not in the cards. What do we have to do for the hoodie? It's up to you, man. You want to donate $100? You want to donate $1,000? However you want to do it. You can super chat it. It's the highest bidder. It's going to be open for a few more minutes, and I don't think I'm going to do the other stuff because it doesn't appear that anybody wants to participate, which is perfectly fine. I'll just have to go to a different method to try to raise these guys money, to help give back to the coral reef. I mean, that's pretty much it. And then I'm going to show you the shrimp tank. So you can email it. I can't tell you, Dolly. You'll have to scroll through to see the highest super chat. I don't think anybody super chatted for the hoodie yet, so it's up to you, brother. Completely up to you. It's a large. However, if somebody has sent a PayPal, northfinusa@gmail.com, that's not something I can control either. I have to go back and look for it. So I'll leave it open till 8:35, and then you guys can figure it out. But Gail's on the board so far, so all y'all suckers is behind. Let me show you the vivarium because I don't think you're not gonna believe any of this. I will be at Aquashella. Is the super chat sign the bottom right corner? Yes. I think that's how it works. Boop. Okay. Do you see how tall these plants are going? Like, I am flabbergasted. Look at all the new little growth spurts right here. I don't see any new growth here. However, it is completely taken over its height. I don't know what this is called right here in the middle, right here. But the leaves have opened up. Remember, it used to be like this. Now it's like wide open. This was struggling when I first put it in. I mean, just took off. And what's really neat is I got moss here. I've got moss in the back, but this guy right here was crawling this way, and now it's crawling upwards. Let's go to the side here. I don't know what this plant is called, but it had like 3 or 4 sprigs, and look at it. I think that bromeliad is dead. But this one is thriving. I jacked up in the beginning and just didn't do the right thing. I've got moss that is crawling. I got tropical moss up top that is crawling down here. And all right, guys, you got like 60 seconds left and to get the hoodie. northfinusa@gmail.com or the super chat. But you can also see, which honestly, I'm bad with plants, so I shouldn't even be talking about this stuff. But you can see these long vines with the small little leaves on them. That guy right there is just growing everywhere. Look at it back there. I mean, it's growing everywhere. If you put aquarium co-op root tabs under dirt plants, would it work? I have no idea. Would peacocks be good for a 50-gallon tank? Yeah. I mean, you're pushing the limit of what you can do with peacocks in a 50-gallon. I would say you're close, maybe, but I don't know. I don't know if I would, maybe a breeding group. That's about it. Maybe a breeding group. Somebody said, like a piece of the Amazon right in your room. No, it really is. With the 3 blue dart frogs, it's pretty snazzy, so I really like it. This is for the hoodie, but if it's okay with that Candy, if I win, can you get in touch with her as an appreciation for the work she does on all the channels? Totally worth striking out on the white t-shirt. So the hoodie is now done, it's over, but yes, totally worth it. I know Josh's Frogs is working with blue day geckos. So they are. So this is the other thing you folks got to understand that maybe don't understand about frogs and things like that. There's only specific animals that can coexist in these smaller habitats. We're not going to try to turn it into an aquarium where we're like, oh yeah, I'm going to put in all these cool fish, man. I'm going to put in trophies. I'm going to put in Mbuna. I'm going to put in some goldfish and some tetras. And it's going to be really wicked, man, because I had a cousins, aunts, uncles, sisters, niece, godmother, and she did it back in 1947 just when they were released, and it worked. We're not going to do that to vivariums because we don't want to endanger any of the topography. So if you've got an ecosystem running in there, you have to be careful for competing foods. Same as you do inside an aquarium, we're just not thinking of it on that level anymore. So if you do buy from Josh's Frogs, they will make sure that you're buying the right stuff for the right vivarium. I want blue day geckos as well, but I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get them. They don't breed very well. They've got some coming, and I have no idea how much they're gonna be. How do you feel about 18 peacocks and haps in a 125? I feel completely comfortable, and I think it's a good idea. Dolly, I will see you at Aquashella. I always use root tab when starting new vivs. Awesome. I like to hear that. Let's see, what else? I missed some questions. Okay, so we're gonna go check out the shrimp tank real quick. I'm gonna grab this. We're gonna run really fast in there. And while we're doing that, I'll leave this open to this t-shirt, which is a 2XL. It's a 2XL t-shirt. What you see is what you get. The highest bid gets it. northfinusa@gmail.com or super chat. I'm gonna grab the camera. Let's go peep it. I'm actually gonna take a drink. So, you may have been following on Instagram or Facebook, and if you're not, that's fine. But if you are, you'll know that Liam and I have been setting up a new shrimp tank. We got all the plants and everything from a mixture of co-op, co-op 2, Flip Aquatics, and we're gonna have some moss coming from none other than Aquatic Support Systems. So there it is in all of its glory. Liam's first shrimp tank that I escaped. He was right here the whole time. Actually, he wanted to play with that Dragonstone. So Liam absolutely loves shrimp. If you did not know, he loves his shrimps, his shimps. He just loves calling out the colors, how big they are. And so we just crushed up some Dragonstone that we had from Rachel O'Leary back in the day. And man, I think I ordered this Dragonstone like 2 years ago. We've got some fluval substrate, and some of these plants are from Co-op. Some of these plants are from Flip Aquatics. And the shrimp, which will be in here, The crystal reds will be coming from Brian's fish tanks, also known as Aquatic Support System. So the only thing I got to do is I have to get in here, and you can kind of see these little specks. It's just from the dirt. I haven't even added any bacteria yet, but I will add bacteria in here because shrimp are sensitive, especially when you're doing the Cardinia. They're a lot more sensitive than a Neocardinia. So I have to check GH, KH, and all that stuff. This is a Petco tank of some sort. It's a 7-gallon. It's got some curved glass on the side. It's pretty snazzy, huh? Came with the light, good for, you know, low-level plants. They got some dirt on them. I've got to kind of dust off. And then Liam wanted a floating moss ball. And I've got some wood coming that I may put in here to kind of sprawl out into the center. And then I'll get some chala wood in here, and I'll get some moss tied to it. It'd be really cool. So I have an identical one of these that I'm going to be setting up, but I'm pretty stoked that it came out like this. I was a little nervous because I've said it. I said in the beginning of this video, I reach out to a lot of people to make sure that I'm doing things in the most efficient way or the right way. And so from 2 years ago, I was talking to Rachel O'Leary, to recently Jen Williams, who is amazing in this industry and absolutely phenomenal when it comes to aquascaping. And she just kind of walked me through the process. I've talked to Rob from Flip Aquatics a few times. Some of you that are in here I've chatted with. Is that the same style tank that arrived broken? Yes, this is the same tank that arrived. Well, actually not the identical tank. This is a very similar tank to the one that arrived broken. As you can see, you've got the rounded glass right here, and then you've got your built-in overflow, which is good. You know, and I don't need that, but it's there if I do need it. And overall, I think it came out good for a noob. I sent the photos to Jen, and she came back and said, it's good. It's good, noob. So she didn't critique it, which was actually kind of cool, which I was hoping she would, because I do like constructive criticism. And there will be no fish in here. There'll just be shrimp. There'll be the crystal reds. There'll be that nice red and white. And there'll be 10 of them in here, and they'll just be that pop of color that it needs. And we're going to leave this as a shrimp-only tank. The next one we do is going to be a different style of shrimp. Don't know where I'm going to put that aquarium yet, but they're very easy. What brand is the tank and size? Sorry, it's on caps. It's a 7-gallon or like 6.8, and it's from Petco. It's like, just go to Petco. I don't want to say their name anymore. I just couldn't find an aquarium that was priced under 65 bucks so that I can get 2 of them. And I ended up getting 2 of them that were broken. And yeah, so now we have this. So I'm headed back to the room. We're going to talk about the community tank. And so if you're interested in that black tea, which is the 2XL, now is your chance. So northfinusa@gmail.com, or you can super chat. So I do appreciate those that are participating. I know it's hard to just always ask for stuff and always put it in there, but when you're trying to help raise money, I can only give so much money, and so I look for help from you guys. And I should probably turn this off. Oh, there you go. How about the dart frog right there? Can you see him? Can you? Where'd he go? Oh, he's like freaking hiding right there. I don't know if you can see him. So let's go into the vivarium. Let's give you a first-hand action. Come on. Can you see him? Yeah. Hopefully you can see him just kind of hanging out on the background. Good stuff. Woo! So what causes, I think I saw that right, but I want to make sure. That tank would be great for a red-tailed cat. I'm done. No, it would not. Absolutely not. So what brand of tank is that? The tank would be good for red-tailed cat. What causes water to drastically evaporate? Science! So when you're looking at hot and cold and you're trapping stuff in, so like actually now I gotta grab the camera again because I need to show you. If I trap the air in like this and don't give it a place to escape, so it can escape, right here, you know, here, and under here. But if I don't give it a place to escape with, you know, that hot, absolutely hot air, it will just kind of do what it's going to do. So that's kind of the in a nutshell issue of humidity. So with an aquarium, you're doing the same thing. You've got warmer or colder water, the air is different, you're trapping it in, or you keep it open, which is even worse because now it's escaping even faster, which is why you'll see with rimless tanks, how when they're just wide open like that, the water level just continues to drop. I like to put glass lids on it because it helps maintain it a heck of a lot longer, but at the same time, it's not always the best for an aquarium. Just a joke, you need basically a river. No, I really do need a river. So we've got 15 minutes left to this. I'm gonna talk about that community tank behind me, and we'll leave this one open for bidding. This is an extra large, hammerhead on the back, says for the reef on the side. You could super chat as much money as you want, or you can send it to northfinusa@gmail.com. But let's talk about this tank right here. So this tank is now doing fantastic. I'm going through some diatom issue, which, you know, whatever. But my La Lupe are doing great. Look at these little guys. Look at him. The Julies are doing great. Everybody is now starting to appear on camera. Look at this little guy. Is the ivory head or a sulfur head hap in the 220? So that's a sulfur. I have an ivory Melodo coming from Jersey Fish Hut. Typically there's a little guy here in the shell, but what are you gonna do? So this tank is rocking and rolling. I haven't added anything. Look at the ocelot skull, look at him. Just comes out of nowhere back here. You're a shell dweller, get back in the shells. Let me see, where's the other ocelot gold? He must be up. There's one. Just little criminals, man, running, swimming around. But yeah, everybody's doing great. Building size, and just ultimately looking good. I'm starting to become a little bit happier with this tank. We got some color happening here. It just takes a long time when you're dealing with so much, you think about getting rid of it. I saw your fish when I was at the fish hut. The tank said Jay Wilson on it. That's awesome. Rich is just a fantastic guy. So now, since you folks stayed the longest, you're gonna find out the crazy news that I had. And what I mean by crazy is it's definitely crazy. So this is what I wanna do. Right now I've been talking to a company, and I don't know if it's gonna happen. But I've been talking to a company, and I want to move this. I want to take this, and I want to put it here. So some things will have to shift. Of course, I got to clean all this stuff up too. But what I want to do here is an 8.5 foot rack. So the company that I'm talking to right now, we're just kind of going over details and if it can be done, things of that nature. The idea is I would have 120 gallon, 120 gallon, and then I would have 4 vivariums up top. So you'd literally right now be looking at 4 vivariums and 2 monster aquariums because they're gonna be deep front to back. Now, this would essentially go away. However, I can transfer everything into that 120. You can see the FX4 there was helping me figure out what was going on. Eventually that will come off. But this is gonna be a pain in the butt moving. So if you're interested in helping and you live in Texas, just kind of stand by. So the idea was I wanted to add some things that wouldn't require more work, right? Because everybody talks about MTS. So I've got the vivarium, the tank. Oh, there you go. Anybody who wanted to know the aquariums, there they are. I've got the tank here, which I'm really, really digging. I can't wait till it clears up again because I jacked it all up. But the vivariums are basically no work. I'm gonna have a plug in it so I can do the draining. I will have a mist king hooked up so I won't have to mist it. I will feed them 3 times a week. I'm gonna try to stay in the dart frog realm. Maybe one of them could be a paludarium where I'll have some water with maybe an aquatic-esque type animal in there. And then I have a completely vacant tank to put whatever I want. And I don't have to do any extra work on the 4 up top. And then the other ones will be run off of a sump, which is really easy to do maintenance. And it'll take one aquarium away and put them in a central location. Pretty good thought. But I have to make sure that it can be done, because even though, you know, yeah, I can make it out of, you know, steel, I can make it out of, you know, wood, I want to make sure that it's seamless, because if it is coming in the house, I don't want it to look ugly. And I'm not saying that woodwork looks ugly, but it's going to require a heck of a lot more money. And so somebody said, just like the king of DIY. Very, very similar. Very, very similar. You know, Joey's had those racks for a while now. They're great racks. Joey, you'll never watch this, but you have a nice rack. The idea would be something very similar, but I would have vivariums and paludariums on there and then aquariums on the bottom. And it would only be 8.5 feet long, potentially, if not a little smaller. And the height, I have no idea what the height would be. And yeah, I don't know. He is getting rid of them. Huh. Didn't know. I wonder why. Are you sure he's not just moving them? That sounds Joey. That sounds Joey to like move it. Doesn't sound like him to get rid of them, although I could be wrong. I mean, I've only met him once. But what do you say? Making them all one level. So then he's not getting rid of them. What if he just, I thought his racks can be taken apart. Maybe not. But if that's the case, then that would be cool if they were all one level. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. That's in the works right now. I don't know when that'll happen. I'm gonna post some more pictures of staging that aquarium that we did in Liam's room. I'll post some updates on this bad boy. Video on Sunday will have the fish store fanatics, and then that following Thursday we'll have a really cool saltwater video of things that I worked on. What's going on, my friend? And other than that, I appreciate you taking time out of your night to stop by. I appreciate everybody that's donated. This is still available. So if you want to throw up a super chat, it's yours. XL, northfinusa@gmail.com. If not, remodeling the fish gallery. Oh, well, good. I'm glad. I saw on Instagram he was doing it, but I didn't know he was taking away the racks. But yeah, so pretty much everything here is gone but the white tee and the long sleeve hammerhead. The 2XL is gone, and this is an XL. So that's pretty much it. I appreciate your support. Everyone that donated, I thank you for being a part of the resolution to help get some money to Sea Corps and to fix these coral reefs that so epically need help. And I do appreciate you stopping by because, well, I understand you got stuff to do. So I'm gonna grab the camera. I'm gonna end this bad boy. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for watching. And let's look at the Malawi tank one more time. Ooh, there's gonna be some smaller fish coming. Actually, some of the fish are gonna match the size of these guys, but when will you start doing saltwater? The world may never know. At work, I'm probably gonna do it sooner than later. At home, I don't know. There is no timeline, I'm not rushing it. I've got a book, I've got to read. As you can see, I've only opened it one time. And that's kind of how that cookie crumbles. So this tank is becoming a favorite, but I mean, really, if you had to choose this one or this one, it's a hard choice. Because I mean, these guys are growing up. Look at them. Whoo! Dave's Rare Fish. Everything in here is from Dave's Rare Fish except the gobies. Those are from Cunningham's. Why does Joey get so much hate from the hobby? Honestly, man, I don't know. Everybody wants to dislike something or do something different. At the end of the day, what Joey does is what Joey does. He makes videos like some of us do. And he just happens to have some of the largest numbers of an aquarium YouTuber, and people just dislike that. It's like anything. Any leader in the world. Look at the president of the United States. Doesn't matter who it is. They're going to be disliked. People are going to throw shade. Whether it's warranted or not, at the end of the day, he's the one that's continually putting out content. He's the one that's continually doing these things. So, for the people that do throw shade or do throw hate, everybody's got an opinion on something. So, there's some things that I do that people may go, well, that's not a good idea. And I heck know that there are some people that would, throw shade at me. And I think that's life. But you're a better person if you can process it a certain way and get rid of it, as opposed to just going, you know what, everybody hates me, so forget it. I think Joey does a phenomenal job of taking all that criticism, and I don't know what he does with it. Maybe what he's doing to his fish room is what he does with it. But at the end of the day, the dude's got some pretty great fish tanks. He's got an amazing support group there with the King of DIY. He's got a book that's helped thousands of people. So I don't know. Whoever wants to throw shade, let him throw shade. But let's see if any fish are eating. Jay Wilson is not old enough to be president yet. Yeah, that would be cool, actually. Actually, it would not be cool. But I got to get rid of that leaf. I think that looks good. Tell me what you think. Does it look good? Is this better than this? Or is that better than them all? So, I don't think it would be cool to be president. Just too much crap you got to deal with every day. Every day. Day in and day out. So, I'll leave you with one more thing. I tried to post it on Instagram today and it didn't work. But for those of you that are, how many people are still watching? Okay, not bad. Success is not a definition. Success is not a platform, is not a number. It is not something tangible that you can grab. Success does not exist in reality. Success is an emotion. The analogy I gave is you have a fish store owner and the employee. The fish store owner could be making millions of dollars every year, and for some reason, they don't feel they're successful. They go home and they are just not, in their mind, successful because it's an emotion. But that person that is cleaning those tanks, vacuuming the substrate, taking care of those fish, talking to customers, building relationships, and getting people back into that fish store, that person goes home every single night, goes home to their family with a roof over their head. They think, they're grateful, they have a little bit of retirement, and they know that they're successful because of all those things. So just because you have all this money doesn't mean you can't have all the problems. And if you don't have a lot of money, doesn't mean you get all the problems. How we process problems are different on different levels. The guy that has $100 million to the guy that has $1,000. If you're going through a trouble, a roadblock, it's the same. It is the same. It is the same issue internally that we have to overcome. It doesn't matter how much money you can't go, all right, here you go, problem. I'm just going to go ahead and give you $1 million. Because even if you can throw money at something, it will still circumnavigate its way back to you, and you will not be happy. And it's the same as the person that's car doesn't start in the morning that gets frustrated because everything's always happening to them. It's a mindset. So you have an emotion and you have a mindset. Understand those two things, and you can achieve any goal and be as successful as